We're back. Hello. I'm sorry it's been a long time from the first video to this one, but I had dental surgery and I looked like I'd been beaten up, so I don't know, call me vain, but I don't want to be on camera doing that. I want to follow on from the first video that we did, looking at that master switch and the enormous switchboard of tiny little switches that we try and turn off or modify or challenge or change in some way. And the master switch is your amygdala. Amy's just pointed out, Amy, my niece, you remember her, she's just pointed out that I'm looking at the wrong spot on the camera. So if I wasn't looking straight at you, I am now. You'll have read on the Eating Disorder Institute about the amygdala, primal brain, the center of your threat response system, or actually basically your threat response system. I sometimes call it the amygdala, sometimes I call it Amygdala. Someone we know, someone who lives with us, someone that we have to manage being around, and someone, if we're not understanding what their role is, someone or something that will actually control our lives. And for sure, in your eating disorder, your amygdala is absolutely and utterly in control of what it is that you do and of the way that you function, and it will mastermind your actions, and it will mastermind your thoughts, and it will create, maintain and sustain feedback loops between the things that you're doing, the things that you're getting concerned about, your behaviours, and of course your eating. And in recovery, the amygdala is one of the things that is going to provide you with lots of challenges, and most of you will know this already, as to what it is that you need to do in order to get to a better space. So what is your amygdala? Little section in your brain. This is layperson's terms, not highly scientific, but accurate enough for this purpose. It is the threat response system. It's the thing that keeps you alive. It's the thing that constantly monitors your environment and monitors the stimuli that you're taking in order to keep you in a safe situation. We don't always realise that it's the thing that's doing all of this for us, but we sure are familiar with the way that it operates. I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, I was in my bedroom playing one day and I heard my mother in my parents' bedroom. She was in there on her own and she was making really weird noises. So I went in to have a look at what she was doing, and she was standing over the bed. She'd just been making it. She'd gone to pull the sheet up and there was a piece of black wool just scrumpled up on the sheet. She thought it was a spider. So Mum was having a kind of a spasmic panic attack, unable to move, unable to articulate, just going and that was the amygdala in action. Absolutely. Her amygdala had said spider, or amygdala had said threat response. She'd interpreted it as being a spider, and she was responding to the rush of stress hormones coursing through her system. And we know that we've talked about before, fight, flight, fright or freeze. Fight, flight, faint or freeze, not that, all the F's. People respond differently when their threat system is activated. One of those four things, or variants of those four things. So in Mum's case, it was freezing, not being able to do anything, not being able to move from the point that she was in, just getting stuck. And for a lot of us, when we're dealing with threats through our recovery, we find ourselves getting stuck, and we don't realise that we're stuck because we're dealing with this non-stop, really is a non-stop threat response, because we keep interpreting it as being something outside of ourselves. As I talked about before in the earlier video, we look at the things that we're responding to and we think those are the things that are causing us to panic. But actually it's the amygdala firing off non-stop, keeping us in this state of elevated stress, elevated threat response. And so everything we respond to while our threat response is high becomes major, and we focus on that thing itself. So sometimes either on the Eating Disorder Institute or on one of the online forums, someone will say, hey guys, I'm really worried because I've got this odd thing on my arm or on my skin. Someone will say, I'm really stressed because I have this feeling, I have this pain. Someone will say, I'm going clothes shopping and I don't know how I'm going to manage going clothes shopping because I get really fearful when I'm in the change room, or I've got a family event to go to and I'm panicking about it. Or they'll say, I'm feeling really sick, I feel nervous, I've got pains on my stomach, I've got pains on my neck, my head's aching all the time, my hand's tingling, a whole range of things. And on the surface, those things themselves look like individual and separate and not at all connected issues. But in the context of anxiety and amygdala-driven threat response behaviour, they are all much of the same. They are the amygdala fastening on things in the environment that are threatening, that are creating and heightening the sense of anxiety, that enormous rush of biochemicals in the body that keep us on high alert, scanning our environment for the next thing that's going to threaten us. And that's really why we need to target the amygdala, why we need to actually work on ways of getting the amygdala to stand down from its threat response, because otherwise we're staying at this heightened stress response and reacting to every new situation, everything we're facing, from a place of a heightened stress response, and not identifying the source of the anxiety in the first place.